Today, I'm having an interview with the one and only Ichigo Musuko, otherwise known as Pookie Izzy 7. And we're going to take an in-depth interview of what's really happening with the Tenkaichi of gaming. Now, this is not humor based, it is really happening as it is going on right now. And the things that are going to be said is going to be live and uncut in one go without any stops. So there will be words, and everything that is happening right now, it is really happening right now. So I hope you guys are ready for this, because this is one of the most epic interviews I'm ever going to have. First off, I want to welcome you to this interview. Thanks for having me. My pleasure. Now, I know there have been many people who want to know what's been going on with you personally as well as personality-wise. So, I'd like to hear from what you have to say, Mr. Musuko. Alright. Well, let's see. I have been busy with a few things. Like another fanfic. I've been going through a lot of stuff. And what would the name of your fanfic be? The name of the fanfic is called Kamen Rider Harrier. It is the third installment of the Legend of the Forgotten Riders story that I am currently working on. And is it true you still have another book still working on? I do. You see, I'm working on 2 books at the same time as that project, I should say. And it really is hard to actually focus on it, because, well, when you have a life like mine, which you don't really get a lick of peace, but you know, you're always doing something different, you just kind of want the weekend to show up just for that purpose. So that's what it is. I really want that weekend to show up just so I can have some downtime to myself. Because sometimes you just want to be alone. That's right. I do want to be alone sometimes. Alright, I have a few questions that, well, if I may be so bold, how are you feeling personally about what's been going on within the world? Well, to be perfectly honest, I feel uncomfortable. And the reason why I say I'm feeling uncomfortable is because all that is happening in the world, all that is going on, you know, you had the Boston Marathon explosion, then some odd year back or a few months, there was the Newtown incident. And who could ever forget about what happened those years ago? We're just getting over 9/11. It's just, very hard to believe that it seems like nobody wants peace, but some jackass just really wants to cause a ruckus. It doesn't matter if it's the Al Qaeda or if it's even if within our own backyards. It's a scary thing sometimes, and really, there's not much I can perfectly say except the real problem lies within our own community. We kind of look away at those who are doing mischief, and we look away from those who are scheming to do something. It's like, well, trying to stop a fire attack and you're 2 seconds slower than the other guy. And the other guy has just caused the attack to happen, and you can't do a damn thing after the fact that he did it. I mean, there's no point in it. There really isn't. And, the world within itself is kind of a fucked up place, and nobody's actually somehow saying what's going on is this is happening and that's happening. All I'm hearing every day is like, it's the end of times, blah 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 this, blah 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 that. And I'm kind of sick of it. It's not the end of times. It's just people have lost their goddamn minds. And the only people who still haven't lost their minds are well, the ones who are on the internet. Because the shit they do, well, they only do it just to get attention. Little attention whores. And you're part of the online community, is that right? Yes, I am. I, of course, my online persona is PookieIzzy7. I am the Tenkaichi of gaming and the underdog of the underrated. And how did that come to be? Well, originally, I mean, if you really want to back history, it's, well, I used to watch a guy by the name of Frank-O-Matic, and he showed some games that I tend to remember seeing in the video stores I used to go to after school when I was younger. And when I mean after school, I mean, during my preteen to teenage years. So I looked at that, and then I started thinking about the games that I used to own, and nobody's ever heard of them. So that kind of gave me an idea, and instead of me just trying to copy off of him, I basically just said, you know what? This is what I'll call it. I'll call it underrated games. And the reason why I do underrated games is because, well, everybody has done a certain game that has been somewhat overrated, or, it's mainly because the viewers want, some kind of content. They want to be entertained and whatnot. So I do games that aren't as known on the radar. And that's what I do. I usually do that I usually do certain things like that all the time. Mainly through requests or whatnot. It's interesting that you are an online personality, I also hear you're an author as well. Yeah. Yes, I'm an author. I like to get my name out there to know that, hey, I'm not just a no peer. I don't just sit here on my laurels and do nothing, but I actually do something. I mean, I am said author of one book, and that book is Legacy of the Seven Stars, The Stars of Great Virtue. And, of course, it has been inspired by various things I've seen over the years. Namely, anime and fantasy movies and that of the like. And it's my way of escaping reality. Because these days, I don't want to be part of reality. I don't even listen to the news because something stupid always happens. Whether it's some kid getting shot, to some stinking ass game war or whatnot, it's just sickening to listen to. I understand. Now, what I want to know, personally, how do you feel? Well, that's a good question. The real question I should ask about that is, about what? Well, the first thing that pops in your mind. Let's talk about yourself. Is there anything you want to share to the viewing and listening audience about what is, how should I say this, bugging you right about now? I mean, we want to know what is the real Ichigo Musuko thinking. What is he feeling at this time, if you will? You really want to know? Yes. Alright. I'll tell you. I'm tired. I put in a lot of hours and a lot of work trying to actually consider that what I'm doing is worth something. The time and the effort that I put in on these videos, regardless of it being a let's play or something not related to let's play, if it's something serious or something that has me involved personally, I want to feel a little bit more appreciated. And it's hard because I dealt with this shit for a long time now. And the things I've felt over the years, throughout my entire life, I felt, I had to compete with someone. Even now, I feel like I have to compete with someone to prove that I am better than most people, if not better than the whole world. I mean, I have cerebral palsy, goddammit. I've been fighting this battle for years and years and years and years, since I was a kid, since I was in elementary school. I was always the one who got picked on and bullied just because one or two things happened. A, my left side got me ridiculed, and kids were limping worse than I was, mocking me, and B, they're jealous because I was smart. But nobody knows how much I had to basically fight to get where I need to be today. You don't know the harshness that came with me being disabled in a way. I mean, some of you do know, but it's not easy. Having to deal with one side that is longer than the other, and and having to mainly try to hide it because, it's physically there and you didn't ask for it, and you just wanted to go and hide somewhere. It's not that easy. And when I was growing up, I basically I had to be compared with everyone else in my family, my cousins, and what they did compared to me, which at the time I didn't know what I was going to do in my life. So you feel that you are compared as if you need to be told that you need to do something with your life as though you should be proud of it. Pretty much. You see, I don't talk about my personal life. And even when I do, it takes very little precedence in my own life. Because I'm pretty sure I've repeated this time and time again. And yet, there are things that I haven't said that most people don't know about. Now, were you influenced in any way possible about this? No, not really. I find this to be like the most enlightening thing I've ever done. Because to be perfectly honest, Doctor, I've never really talked about myself in this form before. So you can kind of understand I feel a bit nervous. There's no need for you to feel nervous, Mr. Ichigo. Because honestly, I feel you have a lot to say, but you have never said it to anyone within your family or outside your family. Why is that? Easy. I'm a very blunt person. And some of the stuff I say, I don't really want to say because I don't want to step on no toes. I don't want anybody to actually bust my balls or say, you're wrong for saying something like that. And to be perfectly honest, well, I understand. I really do. So your pet peeve is being compared to someone else, to being someone else, whatever their their accomplishments were being compared to what you did, it wears on you, does it not? Oh, most definitely. Of all times I listened to what my cousins did and whatnot, there have been times I just want to say, your point is, what now? And have you ever done it? No. But I feel like it. I felt like it plenty enough times just to tail them off. I just want to tell some of these people off that, okay, so what? I mean, what do you want? Do you want a fucking medal? I mean, shit. I mean, the stuff I've done in my life, I've done some wild stuff in my life, and then going overseas to try and do something was a real big thing. And then the second biggest thing was me making a book. And I really just, I didn't expect all this to come around full circle. Alright, I'm gonna come out and say it. And that one thing I had to ask. And I know it's a touchy subject for you, but I would like to know, how was it like when what happened to you in Japan? What was the first thing that happened to you? How could you describe that? Oh, you mean me being raped? Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I could tell you at the time I was just tired. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had gone with my then wife to get an AC unit. Now the fact that I'm physically weak on my left side, not only does it cause frustration, but it kind of forces my right side to work for two people instead of one. And it's not easy trying to deal with an AC unit, a very rainy day. It was heavy rain in Tokyo. And for the first time ever, I felt exhausted. My energy was just being sapped away. Now, normally that doesn't happen, but it does. And it did. And that was a scary thing. And I know I was so angry at the time that we got home. And we were trying to install the AAC. My arms kind of gave out on me. I had to rest. And I believe it was around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I remember what happened. I was so angry and upset at my then wife, and then I was asleep for a solid 8 hours, maybe longer. And then I heard footsteps up the staircase. They were quite heavy, and I know they were hers. And I know I was exhausted. I couldn't even open my eyes. That's how badly tired I was. So, my eyes were glazed. I kind of cringed in fear because I was thinking, oh shit, she's going to kill me. She's mad at me. And next thing you know, what she did was she looked at me and muffled my mouth and, well, you know. And I can remember the one thing that happened was I can feel a tear just escaping the side of my eye. And a part of me was just yelling, stop it, stop it, stop it. And, well, you know the rest. It kind of hurts, doesn't it, Doc? I mean, just hearing about it. And I'm pretty sure there are people out there probably wondering, why am I mentioning this? Don't worry. Even if it will be posted, the point is, you're getting it off your chest. Yeah, I am getting it off my chest. How does that feel to you? Well, to be perfectly honest, Doc, I really never said all this stuff like I have now. Honestly, it feels pretty good just getting it all out my system. And there's probably more, isn't there? Oh, like you wouldn't believe. Well, let's start with now. I remember you have a group called the Random Co-op Group. Could you tell me what that's like? Oh yes, Random Co-op. Well, you see, we're a group of gamers. About 7 or 8 in all. And there's like, it's really, 7 guys, one gal. And, namely, we don't really do much of anything. I mean, we try to get at least a few games going, or at least try to buy possibly work together on a combined field, Most times the internet just tends to just say otherwise. Throw us the big finger and, tell us, no, you can't has. So we've been trying for some years. Sometimes we've actually made progress. We try getting perfect sync. And, well, it's it's been enjoyable. I mean, I've met probably the most greatest group of friends I've ever met in my lifetime, and that's really saying something. Hmm. That's true. You can never have enough good friends. But I really want to know what you honestly think about your group individually. Individually, huh? Well, like I said, I'm not the type of person who usually don't step on toes, because that's not who I am. But knowing how I am a very blunt person, and I'd rather say what I feel and take the shots to my head more often than not, and just say, okay, I said it. Okay, now, starting in order. Oh gosh, starting in order. Well, I'd say the first person that is in order is my original second player, partner slash rival, and that is, her name is Sheena Marie Bach. You don't seem too pleased about saying her name. Well, it's not that. It's just, and forgive me for saying all this, she's probably the only girl, the second girl in my life who has actually ever kicked my ass. And how many women have done that in your life? Legitimately, yes, legitimately. Oh, there have been plenty. But I know my mom is the first. In order, my mom is the first. Because she beat me in Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man. And that's how I learned how to play the game. I got taught. I would say my girlfriend, but the thing is, we haven't played a single game together since my last visit with her, and she kind of kicked my ass in Godzilla, but most times we, often fall alongside each other, so therefore we never had decisive battle against, we really never had a decisive battle. So, yeah. In total, there have been 3 women who've kicked my ass. You're not really good in co-op, are you? I am. I really am good in co-op. It's just, I'm not good in other. I'm good in certain things, but not all. Not certain types of games. I'm good at certain type of games in which, requires me to use my mind. Make me think fast and whatnot. So, like I said, with Sheena, I kind of get that. I kind of get the vibe that, she's very competitive. And another thing about her is that she has a thing to over exaggerate things out of proportion. She talks about these other big big groups on YouTube that that most of us, we kind of understand. I mean, if they're big personalities, we kind of understand why she would mention it, because we have listened to at one point this personality. Thing is with me, I don't care much for personalities. I only care about, what's in front of me. I don't really care what so and so is doing, and so and so, who's doing this on the ass end of YouTube or around the corner from YouTube with all these so-called celebrities and whatnot. It's, to me, I'm just like, it's like Hollywood. I don't really care. I mean, no offense, but it's just me, and I never really cared about what's going on in the wide world of the interwebs. I mean, I only cared about one thing, and that's what's in front of me. If I ever thought about, what this person is doing, and I should try to be more like this person, I would never get my work done. What about the other cohorts? Well, aside from Sheena, well, we have Ryu. And Ryu's just a great guy. Ryu is really a great guy. And I'm not saying that Sheena isn't a good person. She is. She just wants to liven things up. She wants people to notice. And sometimes we know, sometimes we just don't notice. But it's not like we don't, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of things going on in the outside world that needs our attention. So mainly, we don't mean to, cut her out, but, there are some things that take precedent over others. So in conclusion, yeah, Sheena's all right. Sheena's an all right woman. I mean, when it all comes down to it, she tells you what she needs. She tells you what you need to know, and she shares her input. And I do value her input very much. So to me, I'd rather have someone tell me if I had done something wrong, better than, someone not to tell me, you did something wrong and I'm mad at you for it and blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. Now back to Ryu. Ryu, as I said before, is a great guy. I mean, I remember before, he was somewhat close-knit, didn't want to share mainly, what's been going on with his life, because he's been trying to do his best, his personal best. And gamer-wise, when we all mention that he is better than any of us, he really is, and he deserves quite possibly the best, but him being so humble and so enjoyable to be around, it is good that, you have a guy like that in your corner, because it's rare to have somebody like that who really speaks his mind. He's not afraid to do so, and he does it with such style. that we can all laugh about it, and you know, I mean, we all poke on each other normally. I mean, that includes Sheena. We poke on her, so therefore we tell her, you know, poke us back if, you know, really, you know, life's too short. Life's too short to actually be too serious and not try to take a joke. We take a joke and we roll with it. But like I said about Ryu, he's a great guy, and he's more talkative than I am when it comes to, you know, what's been going on, and I'm usually the one listening. Let's see. Well, in your other cohorts, let's see. Well, we do have Snorlag, and Snorlag is basically the number 4 of the bunch. I mean, if there was a color we can just fit him in, it'd be the yellow. It'd be yellow. He'd be the Yellow Ranger. He'd be the one that's like well rooted. Well rooted because he's really a sweet guy. You know, he has a girlfriend of his own. He's a gamer like we are, and you know, he's been going through some stuff himself, but he has been getting better, and thankfully, and rightfully so, he's back, and we're glad that he could be back to join us. So it's a beautiful thing, you know, because it's that camaraderie. That camaraderie is something special, because we've had chances to, you know, chat on occasion, and usually it comes out with some really funny results sometimes. That's a beautiful thing, you know, that really is a beautiful thing. With friendship, it is a wonderful thing. I don't think anybody would be mad if you told what was really going on with you and your friends in the RCO. Because really, you know, they need to know. Well, I have to say this. Our other members like Big and Magma, they have a lot. They are really fun to be with. They are some great guys. Seriously, you know, most times we just shoot the shit or whatever. And you know, after rough days, we usually just sit around the campfire roasting marshmallows, kicking various forms of video game ass, and you know, saying Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya. Transformers more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons, that sort of thing. And to me, like I said, I don't really have that many friends in real life. I really don't. All my friends have moved away, and they probably have families of their own, and you know, that sort of thing. They usually just have that. So there's not much I can say about that. Now, another thing I would like to know about the other members. Oh, the other members. Yes, the other members. Alright. Yeah, do you need some space? No, I don't need space. The other members. Let's see, 40, I haven't talked to him in like a good while. He's been busy with his job and everything, so I'm pretty sure that whenever he listens to this, he knows, like, wow, really, dude? I'll say, yes, really. But 40 is a hard-working son of a bitch. I mean, he among us. he among the ranks of Ryu and Big, who've been basically trying to get a full-time job or some kind of part-time or whatever kind of employment that they're trying to do. They're trying to get some money in their pockets. That's what 40's doing. He's trying to get some money in his pockets. And you know what? I admire that. Because there's not many people who would admire somebody who plays games and, or at least try to play games and at the same time maintain a job. I mean, it's not easy, but sometimes, you had to take the plunge. And that's all I need to say. And then we have another member by the name of MB. And I have to say, he's an idiot. Why do you call him an idiot? Well, he's the loudmouth of the group. Therefore, he's the village idiot. The village idiot is usually the one who just makes the jokes, the bad jokes, usually takes the pies to the face, or the Rotten Tomatoes, and he takes it with a smile on his face because he doesn't know any better. But really, if he didn't know any better, why would he not take so many pot shots to the face? So you don't really hate him? No. I thought you did. No, never did hate the boy. I never did hate the boy. He's just louder than most people because I don't know. He's usually just off in his own world, doing whatever and however it works, and although he did say something very nice, he actually said that I'm inspirational, and that's a hard thing to actually hear sometimes. I mean, how's that? Well, you see, I've never been an inspiration to anyone. No one has ever told me I've been an inspiration. In all the years I've been living, nobody has ever told me that I'm an inspiration to someone. I mean, I've read comments, but I've never actually read. I mean, I never actually hear someone tell me, "You're an individual because you put me back into doing this." So it is a strange feeling. It is quite refreshing to hear that, because I don't really hear that sort of thing sometimes. I mean, most times, I hear, "Well, you're the guy who basically made me become an LP," or "You're the guy who does this," and you have a career, so therefore, I'm being showered with positive bombardment, as it was called when I was a teacher. They call it a positive bombardment. And me getting positive bombardment, it's a strange feeling because I don't usually get that. I mean, I usually hear more about comparison than anything else outside of my family. All I hear is comparison. And comparison to me, it hurts. It really does hurt. Because, you're only one person. And compared to the various millions and millions of people out there, regardless if they're online and if they don't really, if they gather money just because, they want to be famous or whatnot. What I'm doing, it's not to be famous. It never was, never will be. I'm just doing this because I happen to like what I do. I'm not. I like what I do. I'm a gamer. I also like what I do. And I'm sorry if whoever feels like I've disrespected them in Anyway, I am sorry. I apologize for it. Some things I keep bottled up inside just because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Not once have I ever wanted to hurt anybody's feelings and not mention it. Because most of the times I don't say it. Because some people are more sensitive than others. So therefore, I usually don't say anything. I'm just being a nice guy. And I'm just picking up the shield and saying, okay, go ahead, I'm ready. Hit me as hard as you can. So I lower my shield, take the hit, and just fall. You don't fall. You don't fight back. Not when there's not a need to. No, I just take a hit, just because I'm the Knight of the Wind. Oh, I see. I see very carefully. You are one fine man. Do you realize that? Not many people can actually do the stuff you do. You're not doing it for fame. You're not doing it for accolades. But the stuff that you're doing, may I say, sir, that there should be more people like you. There should be more people that should be showering you with accolades. Those that need your help, they need to thank you for just being there. Even if you're listening, even if you're not, even if you're busy doing something, whether you're reading or you're writing or you're probably recording something, you, sir, are an inspiration. Most people tend to forget that. And it's a sad thing in this world because everybody wants to be famous. You, however, you want to be famous in your own right. And you have a reason to do so. And for what it is worth, I feel that most people will look up to this moment, and they'll understand why you call yourself the Tenkaichi. By the way, what does Tenkaichi mean? Well, Tenkaichi is basically translated as the best of the best, unique. One who stands tall under the heavens. I try to be that. I try to be a pure person. I try to become the best I can possibly be. That's the reason why my symbol is that of Tenkaichi. Technically, I want to be the one that people can look up to. The people that can see me as a friend and they can confide with me and, that sort of thing. Because not many people can actually do that, and, I want to be a blessing to others, as well as, be a blessing to myself. I mean, I'm the survivor of 3 brothers, and that should amount to something. I mean, I think that's the purpose that I want to have when I'm pretty much done with my life. I want to inspire others to do what I can do, surpass your own expectations, and therefore just make something wonderful of yourself. That's all I just really want to do. And I feel the stuff I do on YouTube, hey, I'm playing video games, I'm sharing my life, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I can somehow change a few lives in the process, then I feel my job here is done. Well said. Well said. Well, you just heard it here first, folks. This was an interview with the Tenkaichi of Gaming, Mr. Ichigo Musuko. And I have been Dr. Izzy. And thank you for joining me for the session. I'm pretty sure many people will want questions and comments. So if you have any kind of comments, serious comments, funny comments, whatever they are, whatever you choose them to be, and please, I hope you guys listen. Please, if you like what you hear, or if you like what this guy does, he has a book out. It is $15 on paperback, $10 as an e-copy. I recommend you try buying it for yourself. It is a great book. I have read it. It is one of the finest books I've ever read, considering that it's a casual read. So again, let's give it up for Mr. Ichigo Musuko. And to my friends out there, I may have said some things that I have said. I regret nothing for what I've said, because I'm me, and I can be no one else but me. Well said, sir. Well said. See you again next time.